Hi everyone, welcome you all. So earlier I have done series on web automation testing using Cypress. So basically Cypress will also support API testing. So we can test REST APIs using Cypress. Now from today, let us start a new series on Cypress API testing. So for that, we need to set up an environment. So which is exactly the same. So which I already discussed in the previous sessions. So if I just look at my series, in the part 2, Cypress end-to-end web automation, environment setup on Windows and Mac OS. So this is exactly the same for API testing also. So to set up the environment, you can just watch this video and you will understand how we can set up the environment for testing APIs using Cypress. The first thing we need to have is we need to install Node.js npm package, and then we need to also download, install, and Visual Studio Code Editor. And after that, we have to install Cypress package. So these are the three important things which we need to have before starting testing on API. It can be web testing or API testing. The environment setup is exactly the same. So please watch this video. So before setting up the environment, and now I'm directly jumping into the API testing using Cypress. So here I have Visual Studio Code Editor, which is already installed. And now I have created a new project called Cypress Automation. And this is the default folder structure. You can see as soon as you create a new project in Cypress. So under E2E folder, you can see all the specification files we can create inside the E2E folder. All right. So now these are all web test cases I have already done earlier. Now I'm going to create API test cases. So for that, I'm going to create a new folder inside the end-to-end folder. So let me take the new folder and I will name it as API testing. So whatever API test cases I will write, everything should be part of this API testing. Okay. So as part of today's video, first let us see the basic HTTP request. Then how we can send get call or post request or get request and put request and then delete request. And very basic we'll see first, and then I'll show you some more options in those requests. So first let us start creating a new test in which we will try to send different type of HTTP request. So first thing, let me create under API testing. I'm going to create a new file. So in Cypress, whenever you create a spec file, so the extension should be the file name .cy.js. So here I'm writing my file name is http request.cy.js. So this is my file which is created under API testing. Now we'll see how we can send different type of request in Cypress. So before that, we need to first write a describe block, so which contains a IT blocks. So whenever you write a test cases in Cypress, we need to first write a describe block. So this is similar to the test suite, and which contains a it block, which contains a test. So now I'm writing the describe, right? So inside this, we need to specify the some description, like say HTTP request. I'm writing some description, and along with this arrow function, we have to implement like this. So inside this describe block, we need to write multiple tests using it block. So first it block I'm writing here, I say it, and again, which will take two parameters. So first parameter, I'm just giving some description, let's say get call. And the second parameter should be arrow function. And this arrow function I'm going to implement here. All right. So first, before getting the call, before sending the get request, we need to know the URL, right? So I'm going to use Postman tool. Now let's go and see the Postman tool first, and then I'll use the same kind of request in the Cypress. And if I go back to my collection testing, there is a get call here. Now this is the URL I'm going to send as part of get request. And when I send this, you will get the response like this: user ID, and the title, and then some body you got. So this is the response you got when I send this get request. Now same request I'm going to send in Cypress. So to send any request, any type of request, we need to use something called cy.request module. Okay, cy.request module. So inside this, we need to pass two parameters. The first parameter should be what type of call you're going to send. Get, you can put in the double quotations or single quotation, no problem. So get call I want to send, and what is the URL you want to send. So that URL you can keep inside the quotations like this. So get is a type of request, and what URL you want to send as part of get request, that we need to specify. So once you send this URL, we need to verify something, right? So we need to just say, I want to verify my simple status code. So how we can verify dot? It's here we can specify what you want to verify. So I want to verify the status of the request. So I can simply say status. And what the status should be, that we can put one assertion, should equal to. So I can use equal. So equal to the value is 200. So this is how we need to send the GET request. So other than the status code, we can also verify the body and response content on all those things. So that we will discuss later. So as part of this video, let me show you the basic stuff, how we can simply send different type of requests in Cypress. So now I'm sending the GET request, GET call. So let us try to execute this and see how it is going to work. So once you create it, just save the file. And now to run this, first of all, let's try to open the terminal. So we can run this spec file in multiple ways. We can run through a Cypress application, or we can directly run through command prompt. So if you want to run through this command prompt, simply you can run one command in the terminal, npx cypress -. So nps cypress run. So if I leave this command like this, which will run all the specifications which are there under E2E folder. But I want to execute a specific specification file, which is part of API testing folder. So to run the specific file, what you can do is npx cypress run space -. Spec. This is the one keyword we have to use, -spec space. Now we can provide exactly the location of the file which you want to execute. So I'm just copying the relative path and then paste it over here like this. Okay. So now this particular command, nps cypress run -. Space that location of the file. So this file is going to be executed. Now let me just execute this. So now it is started executing my GET request, and now it is successfully got executed. So everything is got passed. So you can just see the result, test is got passed. So this is the one way we can execute the request. There is another way also there, through Cypress application we can execute. So for that we need to run one more command, Cypress npx Cypress open. So this command will open Cypress application window, and through that window also we can run the test. So nps Cypress open. So once executed this command, which will open Cypress window like this, and select end-to-end testing and start E2E testing in Electron by default. And here you can choose whichever spec file you want to execute. So I want to execute this HTTP request, which is there under API testing. Now I click on this. Now it is started executing the GET call, and now my assertion is got passed. So this is another way we can execute the file in your Cypress. Okay. So now let me show you how we can do the put call and the post call and then delete call. So what I'll do is, let me close my terminal. So let me write another it block to perform the post request. So before that, let me show you in the Postman tool. Let's go to Postman. Now, if I go back to the post call, so this is my post request and this is the URL I'm using. So whenever you're trying to post, you have to send some content. So we need to send a request body along with the URL. So this is the request body I want to send, title and body and some user ID. So once you this send through post URL, and as part of the response, you will get some ID will be generated. So not this user ID, some other ID will be generated. So let me try to execute this post request in the Postman. So once executed, so you will get some response here. So title, body, user ID we have provided, but ID is got generated newly here. ID 101 is got generated. So this is the response we will get, and this is the request we have to do. So now we'll see how we can send this post request in Cypress to get the response. So for that, let's create one more it block, right? So it, and again 2 parameters. So I'll name it as post call, and the second parameter should be arrow function, and this function we need to implement. So this is another test for post call. So it can be any type of call. So we have to use cy.request. So I can say cy.request, and inside this, what type of method you are going to send? Post request we have to send. So because we are doing the post request here, we want to pass multiple parameters. 3 parameters we have to pass. So first one is request type, second parameter is URL, third parameter is a body. For a GET request, the body is not there. So we pass only 2 parameters. But in case of post request, we need to pass 3 parameters. Okay. So the first parameter, all 3 parameters should be part of curly braces. So we need to keep one curly braces inside the request like this, or you can put in multiple lines also. So this is a only request part. This is the only request part. Okay. So inside this, we need to specify 3 things. One is type of method you are sending. So how we can specify that? We can specify method. Method is a parameter. So method colon, what method you want to send? Post. So I say post, comma. So what type of URL you want to send? So that also we need to specify URL. In the quotations, we need to specify the post URL. So let me copy my post URL here. So this is my post URL, comma. So after that, you want to specify the body also, right? Because it is a post request, we need to send a body also. So the next parameter should be body. And how we can specify the body is again in one more curly braces, because the body in the JSON format. So we need to specify the body inside another curly braces. So here we need to specify. So if I go back to the Postman, so this is the body which I have sent through request. So now I'm copying the same body and then paste it over here, but we need to follow proper syntax here. When you send the body, curly braces already keep it here, and here just remove this. So we should not put the double quotation for the fields, especially in Cypress. So we can just remove them. So we have to remove them. So values are fine. Values you can keep in the double quotations or single quotation, no problem. So this is our entire body section. So 3 things we have passed inside the request. So we can put everything in one single line, or we can put in multiple lines, no problem. So basically this is a whole request. So in the request, we pass method, URL, and then body. So this curly braces got closed here. The request bracket is got closed here. So overall, the request is got sent, post request. So once you send a post request, we want to verify the status again. After that, again, same process. I can say dot its. So inside this, what do we want to verify? I want to verify the status code. I can say status and dot should again equal to what? 201, because this is a post request will be generated 201 is a code. So now I'm just closing this. So this is how we can simply send post request in Cypress, and we can verify the status code. So once you send a post request, we can also verify the body. Okay, so that we will discuss later. So first of all, let us focus on how we can send different type of requests. So get request we have successfully sent and verify the status code. Now we are sending the post request and now again verifying the status code. So this is how we can send the post call. All right. Now let us test this and execute. Now I'm saving the file again. So when I run this, by default, both the request will be executed. So let me go back and open the terminal. So in the terminal, again, I'm executing the code in the command prompt itself. So npx Cypress run, npx Cypress run -- spec. And then we need to specify the specification file. Run -- spec. And here we need to specify the location of the specification file. Just copy the relative path and then specify here. That's it. So let's execute this. So now we have executed 2 types of request, post request, first get request and post request. So both are successfully got passed. Okay, so 2 types of requests we have sent, both have been successfully passed. So this is how we can simply send post request in Cypress. So now let me show you how we can send put request, which is basically used for updating the existing record. So now we need to write another read block. So before that, let me go to Postman tool. Now let me show you how we can do the put call. Now I have created another call called put call, and this is the URL, and this is the body which we need to send along with this URL. And these 3 details we need to already there in the database. Now this additionally which user or which record we want to update. So that ID also we need to pass here. So this particular body we have to send along with this put request. So when you send this, it will go and update like this. Okay, this is got updated. So now let us send the same request in Cypress. So for that, again, I'll write one more it block. It and two parameters. The first parameter is this is put call. And the second parameter should be arrow function. So inside this, we need to send a query. So now this time again, we use the same kind of request, cy.request. And this time, what is the method we have to use? Again, three parameters. First parameter is a type of a method, which is put. Second parameter is a URL. Third parameter is a body. Exactly the same. Whatever you have sent here, the same thing we have to pass again. So cy.request. And here, you need to take a curly brace. Right? So inside this, we need to specify the request body. So to specify the request body, the first thing is what method? What method you want to send? So method is what? Put call. I say method is put. So that we can keep it in the singular double quotations. Fine. And next parameter is what we need to pass? URL. So URL we need to pass. Single quotation or double quotation. Anything is fine. So I'm taking this URL and then I'm sending it into as part of URL. So this is a URL. Okay, fine. So we have sent method and URL. So what else we need to pass? We need to pass body. So what do we need to update? That also we need to pass. So that we need to keep inside the body. And that we can include inside the curly braces again, because this is a JSON format. So now whatever body we are sending here, the same thing should be part of this body here. Okay, but make sure as per the Cypress syntax, we should not use double quotations for the particular fields. So singular double quotations, we should not. Only the data should be included in the singular double quotations, but this field should not be added. So this is the body which we are going to send. Title, body, user ID, and ID. So this is the body. So once this body parameter is also done, so now the request is got completed. So from here, the request is got started. So cy.request, this is the whole thing we have to pass, right? So this bracket is got closed and this bracket we should close. Still it is not got closed. So this is the bracket closed. I think this is the extra one. Let me keep it here. Okay, so if I look at this request, cy.request in the curly brace, we specified a method URL body. So this body curly brace is end here. And this request curly brace should be end here. And then the request open bracket is already ended here. So with this, request is successfully completed. Fine. So after that, continuation. So what we need to verify? So let's verify the status code. Dot it's what you need to verify? We need to verify the status. And again, should equal to, right? So equal to, I can say 200, right? So then close this. So this is how we can put the validation for put call. Okay, now let us execute and test. Now this time I'm executing all the three requests: get request, post request, and then put request. Let me save the file and go to the terminal and run the command one more time. So here npx cypress run -- spec, and then we need to specify the location or path of this particular file, so that we can execute only that particular specification file. So now it is got executed. So three different type of requests we have sent, and one is get call, post call, and then put call. All three got successfully executed. So let us run them through Cypress application. So for that, what we can do is we can simply execute npx Cypress open. So this command will open Cypress application. So once it is got open, so you can select this end-to-end testing, then click on the button. Now you can see this is HTTP request. Now I'm clicking on this. Now it is started executing all three types of request. So this is how we can simply execute APIs in the Cypress. Now let me show you one more type of request, which is delete call. So same thing again. So we need to write one more it block. So I'm just writing one more it block, it, and two parameters. The first parameter should be description. This is my delete call and arrow function. And this function we need to implement here. So what is the first thing we need to do? We need to first specify the type of request. So what type of request we are going to send? cy dot request, and in the bracket. So how many types of request? Only two type of request, right? So you can simply say the first paragraph in the curly braces we need to specify in the curly braces. So what is the type of method we want to send? That is method is what deleted. So in the single quotations you can specify the delete. This is the delete call we want to send. What is the URL you want to send? You can say simply URL, the double quotation, whatever URL you are going to use for deletion, you can use it. So currently I'm using this delete call for this URL. Copy this and then specify this. So this particular request will go and delete the first record. So this is how we can simply send this curly brace is closed here. The request is got closed here. So then we can start validating. So here you can simply say dot its status. Okay, and that should be equal to assertion should equals, and obviously it will be 200 and then close it. So this is how we can simply write a request. So if I look at this request, different type of request in the get call, I have used this syntax, right? The first parameter, I directly specify the method name, and then I directly specify the URL. And if you look at the rest of the things, I specify them all parameters in the curly braces. And here I have not used a method parameter, method keyword. I directly specify the type of method, and URL also a keyword I have not used, right? So directly I specified this. And both the syntaxes will correct. So if you want to specifically say method is get and URL is this one, just like a delete request, you can specify. So in the delete request, even though we have a two parameters, method and URL, you can put them directly in the curly brace. But if you don't want to use curly braces, then these keyword also not required. So directly you can specify the method name, comma, the URL, whatever you want. Okay. But in the post call and put call, we have another parameters called body. So that we can specify in the curly braces. So this is a syntax which we need to follow in Cypress. Now this is another block for delete call. So let us try to execute all the spec and see one by one. So let me save it. And again, open the new terminal. And now let me try to execute. So npx Cypress run --- spec. And then we need to copy the file location. Copy relative path and then specify here. Okay, and then execute. So 4 type of requests we are sending. First get, then post, put, and then delete. So all 4 type of requests successfully executed. Now again, if you want to run them in Cypress application, you can simply run this command npx Cypress open. So open this command. Spelling mistake. npx Cypress open. So this command will open Cypress window, and here we can execute this command. So here HTTP request, totally 4 requests we have sent, and all 4 requests are successfully executed, and my assertion is also got passed. So this is a simple way we can simply send different type of HTTP calls through Cypress, and we don't need any additional libraries required. So whatever Cypress you have successfully installed, by default, whatever packages you will get along with the Cypress, with those packages, we can still do it API testing. Okay. So in the next videos, we will detailedly discuss about how many ways we can verify the response. Okay. And what are other things we can validate, other than this status code, what are other things we can validate. So these things we will see in the next video. All right. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see in the next video.